Hello YouTube, today on Auto Kit Reviews, I have from Polar Lights the Donnie Allison Torino Talladega. Now this kit is in 1/25th scale. Taking a look around the box here, we have some of the other options from Polar Lights. You can see here, kit number is 6601. And this was the car that he drove in 1969, so you can take a look there, read through at your leisure. Now, some of the Torino Talladega kits have been reboxed by round 2, which is really nice to see. However, there is a few changes that were made in the round 2 boxings that, again, doesn't really affect the kit too much, but is interesting to see. So, starting off with our instructions here, let me set that box off to the side. Start out with a flip book instructions here, and again you can read some of the history there if you so choose. It's a trifold design here, so starting with the roll cage, putting that all together here, putting the front push bar or front frame bars there into place, finishing up the rest of the roll cage, putting the front suspension in on the underside. Again, a few more bits, and then optional mirror, so you have either the 4-way rear view array, so it's an entire bar across practically, or the optional just single rear view mirror. Also putting in the rest of our suspension there. Dropping the engine into place here. Now this is step 4, however, does not show you until, or back here on 1A I should say, is the actual engine assembly. I do apologize that. 1A and 1B is assembling that. And the reason there's a 1A and 1B is you do get a full 429 and 427 engine. The other nice thing that I liked about them was the fact that each part that is called out down here, it also states exactly what it is. So if you're interested, you're like, I always assemble these parts, but I don't know exactly what that part is, it tells you. But then you're dropping the engine, one or the other, into the car here. And then finishing up rear suspension, rear end housing, the actual differential supporting bar, and then putting the wheels on, which obviously if you were painting it, might come at a different stage, come earlier, come later, just depending on your build style. And then the car body with the decals already applied. And on the back it shows just kind of the side view of the decal placements. So looking at our decal sheet, pretty sparse, but really good clarity on that. They are more of a matte design of carrier film, as you can see there. It's not super shiny. The sponsorship decals are pretty good. A little out of register, as you can see with the Union 76, but nothing that you would write home about. They are non-metallic. However, if you'd like something a little bit more poppy, I guess you could say, or something that would pop a little bit more, I have a review of the Powerslide Contingency decals that you could use. So this kit was opened, so some of the parts are out of the bag. The one thing I do like that they did in this was they actually put the body into a cardboard box to protect it. So take a look around, have a couple bits of flash there that just need removed. Now, one thing that has been noted in other builds and things like that is the nose does have almost like a droop upward here, where it normally would have more of a droop down. Different people have used like heat and things like that to bend it, so it just depends on how much work you want to put into it to get that nose to sit just right. Setting the body back in the box, we have our main chassis piece here. We have our tires, which are treaded tires there, which would have been correct for this era. And then we have our clear parts here, just in a single bag. As you can see, kind of fell off there, so watch out for scratching on those. And we get into some of our roll cage pieces, as well as some of the supporting bars, interior details. Have our rear leaf springs here. Let me lock that in if I can. There we go. So we got the rear leaf springs there, got our upper A-arms, all that. I do apologize. Alright, we have our roll cage halves, which there is no padding on these. We have the very nice wheels. Have our front grille guard there. Wheel backs, pretty basic. Have the transmission here. Radiator, which does have some ejector pins on the blind side, but that's not to be concerned with. This is the only thing that I don't like about this kit, is parts that are fragile like these do have a tendency to break sometimes. And as you can see, a couple parts go missing as well. We have our firewall, racing seat there, exhaust pipes, air cleaner, air shocks, fuel cell, have our hood here. And then we have these parts here, which is labeled as E427, so you know this is the 427 block. So as you can see, a couple parts kind of fell off there. And then you have E429. Oops, get that around. So here is our 429 motor. So it is just nice to see that they have both variants. A couple of the bits that fell off here, I'll go ahead and grab out. So the box off to the side. One other nice thing that they did include was Goodyear labeled decals for the tires, which is very nice. Then we have one of the rear end assemblies, a couple of, like I said, parts off the engine. For the front end here, we have the pin already put into one of the selection holes for the suspension. And that was actually molded in like that. It's not been pressed in by myself or anybody else. And then, last but not least, we have our chrome tree, if I can get hold of the bag. There we go. So chrome parts, you have the two different grill options. So you have that mesh, and then the basic push bar, or the actual ribbed one there. And as you can see, we do have the air intake, valve covers, 4-barrel carb for the 427 on that side, and then the 429, a couple of chrome parts on that. So even the chrome parts are specific per motor, which is nice. So that has been an unboxed review of the original Polar Lights Donnie Allison Torino Talladega. Now this was also released, as you can see here on the side, as the Holman and Moody Torino Talladega, which was driven by David Pearson. So I will have a review coming up here of the Cale Yarborough Mercury Cyclone. So hope you guys check that out as well. Have a wonderful rest of your day.